Me, on the other hand, I didn't really give a shit. I was like, hey man, stick me with whatever you want. Like, I've been sticking my body with all sorts of shit since 2003 with the anthrax vaccine and whatever else the army fucking wanted me to take. Like, I didn't really give a shit, right? But there were guys that, you know, died on that hill. So there was a news article going around that the military realized that it made a big mistake, and now it's encouraging all the individuals that got kicked out for not taking the COVID-19 vaccine to come back in the military, to come back in the Army, to come back on active duty. Take a listen to this.
Meantime, the U.S. Army facing repercussions of its COVID-era policy. It says its cuts over vaccine mandates have weakened the size of its force and are now calling on them to come on back to service. Mike Emanuel's got that story live in Washington for us. Mike.
Bill, good morning. The Army kicked out more than 1,900 soldiers for refusing a COVID vaccine. At least 19 of them have now been welcomed back to active duty. A letter signed by Brigadier General Hope Rampey, Army Director of Personnel Management, says, quote, as a result of the rescission of all current COVID-19 vaccination requirements, former soldiers who were involuntarily separated for their refusal to receive the COVID-19 vaccination may request a correction of their military records. The Army is struggling when it comes to meeting its recruiting goals. Active duty has dropped from 485,000 in 2021 to about 452,000.
Now, after watching this video, guys, I wanted to jump on here and just kind of give you guys my 2 cents on it and just get the information out there, because I know there's a lot of guys that didn't want the vaccine and they actually got kicked out because of it. A lot of them were special forces guys, right? So at SWIC alone, where I worked, I remember vividly, guys, the command was fucking putting the hammer down. Guys did not have a say-so in it. You either get the vaccine or you were out. Like, it got so serious that the general was the one counseling these individuals. I'm talking about E5 and E6s, some E7s getting counseled by a one-star general, as if that guy doesn't have anything else better to do. But that's how serious it was. I remember when it first took place, I was the S3 NCOIC, so I oversaw the entire battalion. And I remember this because the mandates would have to go through the S3 shop, and then I would get the message and I would push it out to all the first sergeants, and I would be like, hey, I know, such and such doesn't want the vaccine. However, if he doesn't get it by next week, you got to pull him off the podium. So they weren't allowed to teach anymore. They weren't allowed to stand in front of students. All right. And if they still don't want to take the vaccine, then you, as the first sergeant and the company commander, you guys got to go see the general. All right. And I remember this going down, guys. And there was, within my battalion alone, there was at least 20 guys that didn't want to take the vaccine. So those 20 guys had to go see the general. They had to get a counseling statement saying, hey, I understand if I don't take this vaccine that my career is going to end. And that's exactly what happened. And some of these guys were like 15 years, 16 years, 17-year veterans. And just like that, they lost all of it, right? Because they refused to take the vaccine. Me, on the other hand, I didn't really give a shit. I was like, hey man, stick me with whatever you want. Like, I've been sticking my body with all sorts of shit since 2003 with the anthrax vaccine and whatever else the army fucking wanted me to take. Like, I didn't really give a shit, right? But there were guys that, died on that hill. Guys, this segment is brought to you by Beret If you haven't done so already, guys, check out the website where you will have access to my prep courses, where at any given time we're sending guys to selection and they all getting selected, right? Just like this guy right here. If you want extra content, guys, we are putting those out in the form of a newsletter. But I know you guys don't like reading, right? Because I don't like reading also. I'm more of an audiobook type of guy. We are converting all the articles into audio files so you guys can just listen to them in your car, right? All you have to do is go to the website, click on newsletter and subscribe, and you will get extra content in the form of audio files to your phone. All right, guys? And then also, before you leave the website, make sure you check out the Body by J program, guys, where we focus on working out just to look good. My programs are designed to make sure you look good when you take your shirt off. I don't care about lifting 1,000 pounds, right? We got freaking forklifts for that. All right, guys, check out Body by Jay and all the other programs at greenberetchronicles.com. Let's get back to the episode. They got their careers ended and they ended up in the civilian sector because of this vaccine, right? So now fast forward, the Army's realizing that, hey, this was not such a good move, because in the process of implementing all these policies, not only are we destroying the military as a whole, we're destroying recruiting. And now they're trying to backpedal and they're saying, hey, check it out. We're sorry. Going to come back home, come back in, and let's make things right again, right? Not going to happen, guys. Let me know what you would do in the comment section below. If you got kicked out of the Army for not taking a vaccine, would you come back in? Because this is a embarrassing move by the military, right? And now don't get me wrong. I understand they got to do what they need to do, but it is so embarrassing to our peers as far as on the world stage that, hey, we are hurting for numbers so bad to where we're having to recall individuals that we forced out just so we can try to make recruiting numbers, right? I get it. It's also a way of making things right. However, it's a little too late, because you got to understand, once these guys got pushed out from the military, most of them probably lost their pensions, and now they had to go file for disability. Guys, once you file for disability and you get a disability rating, there is no more coming back in. You are considered disabled in the eyes of the government. They're not going to say, hey, check it out, you are at 100% service disabled. Like, you know what, just push that aside for another 5 years, come on back in, retire, get your pension, and then we'll bring that VA disability back over. No, it doesn't work like that, guys. Once those guys got forced out and they went through the VA system to start collecting their disability, that's all they got, right? They lost their pension, they lost their ability to retire, and that's how they got screwed over. So if I was one of those guys, why would I want to come back? You've already screwed me once. All right. Now, I don't know why none of the military leaders didn't grab their balls and say, hey, check it out. This is not a good move. But I have a feeling that everybody was just being yes boys, right? Because of their careers. And they were like, hey, whatever you want us to do, we'll do, master. And guess what happened, guys? It started destroying the actual military. All right. But anyways, guys, if you're one of those dudes, though, that want to come back in, that, you know, haven't gotten your disability rating packet in yet, and you want to come back in and finish out your career, guys, they are welcoming you back, all right? I just wanted to come on here, guys, and share this piece of news with you guys to make sure you guys are staying aware. And again, guys, if you got any value out of this, make sure you give it a thumbs up and then subscribe to the channel, all right? Until next time, guys, take care of yourself.